Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and welcome back to part 2 of my walk round of the Practical Classics Car Restoration Show 2025. So in part 1 we were having a look around halls 3 and 4, so the auction area and a few other clubs. So that's not a terrible, but this is hall 5. This is the biggest area of this year's show, and we've got a hell of a lot of club stands here. So I'm not going to go around every single bit. So if I miss your car out, please don't be offended. I will catch your car at some point in a future show. Our stand, I'm starting at our stand, so the MG Car Club Z register, or give it its full name, ZR ZS ZT register. You don't need to see my car too much. The one black olive, we'll go into Jason's car a bit more, because he spent Thursday and Friday polishing this and doing some paint correction. Now I don't know how well the GoPro's going to pick the colour up, but this colour it's a monogram colour. It's called black olive. So if the paint's a bit flat, it just looks black. But under these lights, him having auto glimmed it to within an inch of its life, you can actually now see the kind of olive green in the paint. It just looks absolutely stunning. It's a car, I mean, it's not in pride of ownership, it's on the Z register stand, but this car could easily be in the pride of ownership stand. We're going to have a look over there in a sec actually at that stand, because there's a nice little selection of cars. But also on our stand we've got this Mark 1 MG ZS 180 in solar red. It's on 19,000 miles. I think the paint's original, which is incredible, because normally red MGs either become pink MGs or become lacquer peeled MGs. Someone has left a bottle of drink. All right. Someone's left a bottle. That's really rude. I'm going to put that there. People shouldn't do that. Yeah, this is an immaculate car. I don't know the car up until today. I don't know the owner, but it's a really fine example. Absolutely stunning thing. Yeah, really like it. We're going to have a wander further round. So we've got the coupes, as I showed you in my little preview video on what day was that? Thursday. Blimey, slept since then. So this one was undercover. This is a night fire, and this one's immaculate. I mean, just look at the quality of the paint in that. Got another turbo there. That one's got a bit of pattern. It's probably been parked under a tree or something. This one's being fettled. So that's another T-Series turbo car. And there is our lovely T-Series under the bonnets. That one's being fettled. This one's being fettled. And then the other club stand we've got is MG Rover Events. So we've got, I don't know if we saw this on Thursday, so Anthony's rather nice. Anthony's a good friend of mine. He's seen quite a lot at our unit. This is his Rover 45 2-litre V6, so a fairly rare car. It's in midnight blue. Doesn't need a bit of a respray, but it's a used car. It's what we want to see. Jake Bill from the YouTube channel Fuel Powers Rover Mini, one of the later carburettor cars. I'll put a link to Jake's video that he did getting up here the other day in that corner, wherever it might be. Rob's 25 SCI, beautiful looking thing. And we've got Sam's Goodwood Green ZR 105, and then we're on to the two. So we're all us kind of MG Rover group people are all in one little corner. So we've got a 214i. So this would have been a pretty basic car, but isn't it lovely? It's British Racing Green. I love the headlights, so it's obviously what the BRM and the VI was derived from, but really nice looking thing. This is the car that I showed you that day that's going to be auctioned off for charity. So there's Macmillan. So we'll get this one, you know, get this one while you can. It's a nice colour, unusual colour, and it's a very clean example of an R8 cabriolet. So 214, there's that. Yeah, sorry, I got stopped by my MG ZT260's former owner, the original owner of the car, stopped me for a chat. Yes, that's the car that's being auctioned off. Then we've got this, just a 214, but it's very clean. Again, another red car with superb paint. Try not to trip over. Beautiful thing. And then we've got another 400. This one's a 414i. So of course this is the Mark 2 400. Yeah, beautiful car in British Racing Green. These are, yeah, there's a following for these that's yeah, sort of creeps up on people. So we got more Rovers. The Roveration hasn't finished, and I'm a bit more. I know what I'm doing now because I know the layout of this hall better because I spent so much time here on Thursday. We've got the Rover Sports Register. So this, now, Sheldon from Classic Britain pulled me up on this car. It's actually a P7 prototype. So this was designed for the gas turbine engine. So that's actually a P7 prototype shell, but the point of the kind of skeleton is still very much valid. This 200 is being worked on. So that's a rather nice, that's quite late, so T, that's a fairly late 200. We've got a Range Rover Classic over here with the 2-door, 3-door, depending on your point of view. I think we heard this one coming in on Thursday. Let's just have a little wander back round here, get the other angle of it. I need to find some more yellow cars. I love finding yellow cars at the NEC. It's always a personal highlight for me. Beautiful P5B coupe. So of course these were very much used by royalty. The Queen, I think, had 3 of these. And of course Margaret Thatcher, Harold Wilson, James Callaghan, Edward Heath used these as their government cars. So of course that was the time when they wanted to use British cars for government, which is, you know, obviously makes sense. And we've got a Rover 8. This is a very early, well, not very early, but an earlier Rover. Very delightful little thing. And we've got a chassis. I do like a chassis. So Rover Speed 20 4-seat Tourer chassis. So look at that. Look how long that body would have been on that car. So we'll go around here. I'm not going to talk about the ice cream van because that's a Mercedes Sprinter, but we're going to have a look at some SD1s and some 600s. So we saw this one Thursday. We saw all of these Thursday. So without being offensive, we'll just whip by because we've already seen them. You can look on my preview video if you want to see more on this car. There's the diesel one, which we spotted on the way up. Then we've got a lineup of 800s. Again, whizzing round because we've seen these before. And a 600 Ti on the end. Very, very smart. That one. And then we're into the P6s. So we saw all of these on. Saw all of these on Thursday. I do fancy one of these again. These are all. Are they all V8? They're all V8s. So they're all P6 V8s. Beautiful. So an almond, we've got a avocado, another almond, and a couple of blue. Beautiful, beautiful things. We've got to keep an eye on what we're doing. And then we're kind of away from Rovers Roaming because we have got a Mini. But this is the Norwich Classic Vehicle Club, and we've got a Mark 5 Escort, Mark 6 Escort. Mark 6 Escort, so a very late Escort estate with a bit of a bloom on the paintwork. So no doubt someone's going to have great fun with a pressure washer. There we are. So this gentleman's,
that's my dad.
The dad's first and only brand new car.
Yep.
What a wonderful story. So these Escorts, even though they're not that old really compared to some of the stuff we're seeing around here, quite a rare sight now on the roads, aren't they?
That's the SI, and there's only 26 left on.
Wow. So obviously I'm a big into the MG Rover stuff of this period, or Rover Group stuff of this period, but there's a follow. Yeah, that's my people.
That's your bang.
Yeah, but there's also a following for late 90s, early 2000s Ford stuff, of course.
Right, yeah.
And the guys with the blue ovals tend to do better for their dollar because the blue oval stuff is getting a bit more expensive these days, isn't it? So,
yeah, it is, yeah.
But it's great to see this car being brought back to life, no doubt.
It's going in for paint in May.
Brilliant. Well, I look forward to seeing it.
My plan is to get it finished and bring it back for the November
show. Well, I'll look out for you, sir.
Nice one.
Thank you very much. We've got Mini Clubman, that's beautiful. And we've got another Ford Puma. These Ford Pumas are getting rather desirable little things. An MG Magnet, two-tone, sort of pewter over blue. I mean, that is stunning. Let's have a look at, find some octagons inside to have a look at. So Look at that. Oh, half an octagon as the top of the octagon as the binnacle, and then obviously the octagon on the steering wheel. Absolutely superb. And that typical red MG paint. Then we've got a Reliant Scimitar. We've got a Ford V6 under the bonnet there. And that's a nice little mixed bag of stuff from the Norwich Classic Vehicle Club. We shall now scoot up here because we've got to look at the BRMs. So we've only got a couple here. Where we've got one of the press cars, so S974WOM, and then we've got Tony's rather special non-press car, but a very, very well looked after car. There's Tony. We'll go for a pint maybe in a couple of hours. Yeah. But that, really good to see the BRMs here. We're not finished with Rovers yet. We've got more. So we've got this is obviously a bit of an East Anglian area here, because we've got the vehicle group there. We've got the Norwich and Norfolk Rover Owners Club here. We've got 825 Coupe. So that's a K series powered 800 Coupe. That colour is stunning. The bodywork is stunning. We've got this P5. This is a P5, not a P5B. It's a P5 because it's got the IOE engine, but it's a P5 hearse. So look at that. That would have, if that was used for your send-off, you would be going out with quite some style, I have to say. That's quite an interesting looking thing. We've got another Rover 100 here. This one in two tones, a sort of grey over a navy blue. Absolutely stunning. Still owned by founder member of this club, Terry Reynolds. There we are. And then we've got another P5B coupe. This one's having some live action. Beautiful. We can actually get down the side of this one. We've got a bit of space, but you can see the line. So you've obviously got a much higher roof line with the standard P5, but the coupe, you could argue it's not really a coupe because it's a four-door, sorry, and you've still got a fair bit of head height. But yeah, they are very stylish cars. If you want to waft along with a beautiful soundtrack of a Rover V8 engine, then these are the cars to waft around in, that's for sure. So I misidentified this car, this red Ford in the corner here the other day. It's actually a Mark III Cortina two-door, and I said it was a Granada, so I got that completely wrong. Apologies to the owner of that one. But yeah, this is the Coles Hill Auto Breakfast Meat Club. So great big Gary truck, 1922, massive, great big thing, enormous. We've got a Ford GT40 replica, absolutely lovely looking things, really nice. And then we've got a Ford F100, again, great big American stuff. Is just, it's so big and chunky, isn't it? For want of a better word. Nice little mixed club there. Then we've got a bit of a mixed bag going on here. So we've got the mini kit, so we've got lots of sort of kit car things. We've got a bit of a go-karty thing going on there. We've got this interesting sort of wedge-shaped thing. We've got a Metro with almost like a 6R4 body kit on it. Should we have a peer inside, see if it's... Yeah, we've got some kind of tank in the back, but I suspect our engine's still up front in this rather than in the rear where it would be, or mid-engine where it would be in a typical 6R4. And yeah, just some various kind of custom mini or Metro derived cars on this stand. So mini kits, mini base kit cars and derivatives. What a interesting little stand. Sporting Bears you've got over here. So there's an awesome variety of, there's a massive variety of cars. I've been listening to them and smelling them all day. We'll try and come over here, but yeah, so you can take these cars out, I think, for 20 quid a ride.
Yeah, you come for a ride rather than taking them out.
Yeah, so you get driven. You're chauffeured rather than driving off and never seeing it. But you can drive a Sierra Cosworth. Neil Allen, guy I know from Aylesbury, he's got his Metro here. So you pay your 20 quid. They'll take you on a 10-mile drive, and yeah, you get to see the Marston Green area of southeast Birmingham. Yeah, Aston Martin, got a Lotus, E-Type Jag, Mini, some electric BMW nonsense there. No offence to whoever owns it. Lamborghini, look at that, yeah. AC Cobra, so you've got, you pay your 20 quid and I guess you get to take your pick of whatever car. E30 would probably be my choice. So moving into the next section, I think this is the best way of filming this. We've got some kind of hot roddy, trucky fun here. So the National Street Rod Association. This is the car that I followed in here the other day, and it is seriously, it's a weapon. The 3-window coupe. It is so noisy. It's the one with the jockey wheels on the back. Stop it lifting off. We'll come round this side. So we've got more Rovers. There's a very good showing of P6s here. We'll see Mr. Flanagan and his SVRs in a moment. So we've got Wedgwood Blue P6. Wedgwood Blue was a colour back then, so we've got Wedgwood Blue. Is that a 2000 single carb? We've got a twin carb. It's a 2200 twin carb. I really am. I'm getting back in the mood for wanting one of these. I used to have a V8 in this exact colour, in tobacco leaf, with the exact same brown vinyl roof. Didn't have the box pleat leather. I had fabric in my car, but yeah, I'm getting the flavour of one of these. And then we saw this one with the interesting patina the other day. So here's the SVR Club. We've got 3 here today. We've got this one we've seen before in this kind of lilac-y metallic colour, beautiful looking thing. Got one with the bonnet actually off, so there we can get an appreciation of that's the 32, similar engine to the MG ZT260, but of course this is the 32 valve version with a bit of supercharging and a few other little trick bits. But yeah, beautiful looking things based on the Quale Mangusta, so an Italian sports car design. But yeah, seriously nice bit of kit. And then we've got another one in sort of a grey down here, and of course we've got, it wouldn't be a car meet without MGF, so we've got a TF in Firefrost with lots of bears sitting on it, and then we've got this is very nice. I do like some of these. That's a press car, I would say, with that SAC registration. I would guess the owner is being spoken to, but yeah, look at that red seats. Has it got aircon? No, it hasn't. It's not a Japanese spec one, but this is probably this will be a very early MGF, and it is in absolutely pristine condition. So that's the back of our stand. We've got more stands. We'll have a look around at the Rover Owners Club in a sec. We'll just do this little section here. We've got the RS Owners Club. So we've got Mark III, Mark 2 Mark 2s and a Mark 1. So yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sight. So I had to say it so many times because it is, and that's just really lovely to see all of that. We get a fairly good appreciation of the engine bay as well. So this one's got twin Webers with trumpets, and then this one's got a downdraft. Obviously a slightly earlier car with a downdraft engine. Just look at that exhaust manifold. That's seriously good. I like that a lot. We're just going to wander around here now. We've got a few mines, mines, how terrible. We've got a barn find standard van. We've got a standard 8. These are beautiful cars. Would definitely consider one of these. And that's lovely in that kind of duck eggshell blue. And then we've got a standard Vanguard, so the bigger standard. And there's one other standard in here. Which one's this? This is nice. This is more of a I think it's pre-war. Standard 10 Deluxe. 1934. So we've got a nice little cross-section of standards there. Of course, Standard became amalgamated with Triumph, became Standard Triumph, then eventually got brought into Leyland, and of course Leyland Motors, then of course British Leyland eventually. And that's when they started competing with each other. Yeah. We've got the TR, I think a car's just been started up over there. We missed that unfortunately, but obviously some work's been happening and a successful result has happened. So a couple of TR7s, and there's our slant 4 engine, so the same engine that went into the Dolomite Sprint, and of course one that Saab bought and revamped into their 2-litre engine. And that's a Gilbert, so that's obviously Triumph based. Have got a Dolomite Sprint here. Again, I think I saw this one I parked behind the other day. I think so. So again, there's your slant 4 engine, and that one's got kind of a foam air filter. And we've got a Triumph. Do we call this a Toledo? I think we do. And then in this corner, we haven't got a lot to get round, but we will do it. We've got a Rover 100,
Such a big advance.
a Metro that's been dragged out somewhere and stripped down, another Metro, and then we've got some more Triumphs. So this, we did have a look at this other day, so I won't dwell on this too much. We've got that GT6, we've got the Spitfire 4, which we saw. This TR4 wasn't in here. So here's our TR4. Let's have a look at the little look under the engine bay. Isn't that lovely? And they're all red as well, which is beautiful, because nothing better than a red Triumph. We've got 4 of them all together, which is rather nice. This is obviously opposite us, so opposite the coupes and our stand, we've got the Montego and Maestro owners, or Maestro and Montego owners club. We've got that weapon there, which belongs to Bob. I'm going to hopefully doing a test drive on that car soon. We've got a West Midlands Police Maestro van, and then we've got another Maestro that's being worked on. And this is what I love at the Resto Show. You get people getting oily and getting stuff done in the middle of a car show. How fantastic is that? So kind of finishing off this corner of the show, we've got sort of practical classics cars. So these are the staff car sagas. So won't dwell on them. If you want to see what happens to these cars, you can just get practical classics and read it. But yeah, this is all their stuff here. We've got the Gay Classic Car Group. Always again very active at these shows. We've got that Wedgwood Blue Rover. We've got Freelander. And lots of work happening, of course. So we've got a P38 Range Rover, TVR-S. We've got this Rover 25 GTI, rare as hen's teeth. We've got 2200 SCP6. So again, really good selection of cars here. More Triumphs in this corner. We've got the Triumph Dolomite Club. So let's have a little look around here. We've got 1300. I think this might be Aaron's, possibly Aaron's car over here. No, this isn't Aaron. Someone else's. I think maybe his car isn't here. I don't know. We'll have a little wander around and have a little nosy at some of these Triumphs. Hello.
Still on the roof pressing.
So another 1300, and then we got a Dolly Sprint in Dolly Sprint in green. What's not to like there? So yeah, so very British this end of the show. Have another look at the Gay Classic Car Group stuff. We've got Land Crab as well, and we've got some. We're back to where we started, so we'll have a little break for a sec, and then pick up where we left off and do a little overview of the rest of the show. Right, a little lunch break done. Now we've got some Jowetts over here, so various Jowetts. And I'm trying to be as concise as I can with this. Got an E39. That's an old beastie, isn't it? That's lovely. Another MGB. Oh, no, that's not that MGB here, but that's got like the sort of Sebring body kit on. And another Scimitar. There's some to go to the middle. Remember this high ace fan from last year? So this was one of the cars of the show last year for a lot of people. And we've got a Toyota Jeep thingamajig and a Celica. That's lovely. And then we've got some MRTs. I'm heading for the Pride of Ownership quite rapidly because I want to catch certain folks before they go. We've got a Mark 1, Mark 2 and a Mark 3 MR2 all lined up. We've got some Mitsubishi GTOs and 3000 GTs, so 3 of those here, which is nice. Now this is what I want to really home in on because we've got the Pride of Ownership area. So we've got a Lotus Esprit Turbo in white. So these cars are cars that have been restored, and that's quite something. We've got a K10 Micra. I just think these things are lovely. Seriously nice little things. Mount-tuned Focus RS in a beautiful, almost neon green. That's a lovely thing. They just actually announced the Pride of Ownership awards. I'm guessing this gentleman here might have won it. Now the Nova. We've seen this before. This car. So yeah, at Saloon Build on Instagram. We have seen this before. Lovely looking thing. And again, the owners, we'll have to be careful because it's being filmed, so the owner's being filmed. We've got a Mark 1 Mini Cooper, which looks like it came third place, excuse me. And another Toyota Celica convertible. So look at the quality on display here. These are seriously good looking cars. We've got a 1961 Gogomobile T700 Royal Izzard. It says it's an unusual car. It most certainly is. This Capri, always like to see a Capri. This is a Mark 1 3 litre, so that'll have a nice V6 under that bonnet. But again, immaculate. We have got some MG products on the pride of ownership. We've got an MGF Trophy 160. It's on an 01, so that's just on the turn of the century. Beautiful car. Finalist as well. There we are. And now this is lovely. Renault 5 GTI Turbo. Beautiful looking thing. I know a few people who would go a bit gaga over that. And we've got another sort of later French hot hatch next. We've got a 106 GTI. Beautiful in red. Very, very good condition paintwork. And then we've got a car that's very well known to me and maybe known to some of you. It's Alex and Alex's Assets. Allegro 1300 Super called Peggy. This is a car that, you know, is really, look at it. I mean, it's seriously clean. You could eat your dinner off that. There's Alex's mobile mechanic car business, so do check that out as well. Always like to see the logo. You've got the hydrogas domes there. Yeah, seriously well turned out car. And there's our lovely Quartic steering wheel. Hopefully that's very visible to you, even though we're going inside. But yeah, obviously a previously award-winning car. And then we've got a BMW. We've got an E46. And that's very clean, because these cars can rust for fun. And this is a 325i Cabriolet, so it's got the hard top rather than the soft top. But yeah, 325, so again it's a petrol straight six, beautiful MV2 alloys. I'd say that's been lowered slightly, looking at the especially looking at the back there. I know you've got a bit more weight on the back with the mechanism for the roof, but yeah, that's, you know, it's not a folding hard top. That's actually a detachable hard top. I've made a bit of an error there, so do apologise. Mark 1. Now this isn't an Astra. It's an Opel Kadett, which of course was Opel's name for the Astra shape at that time. But yeah, again, lovely thing to see. There are some Mark II Astras here as well, so it's nice to see the kind of everyman cars. We've got a Datsun 260, and that's a beautiful big Japanese saloon. I mean, that's seriously nice. Almost like a bronze, real ready bronze colour. Very attractive. Golf GTI Cabrio. And then we've got Escort XR3i Mark IV. So I've got a massive soft spot for these. I had a couple of them myself. Mine were in white actually, but this is a lovely clean example. These are very desirable, very expensive cars now. Citroen SM 971. Just look at that front with all that perspex around it. And we'll get alongside. Citroen always come up with a good design. They never fail to disappoint, and that's superb. And this is what I love about the Resto Show. You see cars that have been restored that are looking like this, and then you've got cars. Maybe, I mean, mine's not the worst, but we had a look at the barn finds in part 1, the barn find section in part 1. And they're cars that are about to be restored and have been dragged out. Mercedes 280 SL Rally Special. Very clean. And that's what they call that on the Pagoda with that top on it. But that's just seriously pretty. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We're back to the Capri. So that's the pride of ownership section done. We'll just get you up high just to get an overview of the whole thing. Really, I mean, we have missed a car out. We'll wander over to that. We've got a Puma. And this, one thing I noticed, I've walked past this area quite a few times today, and you know, people have really gravitated towards this spot. Yeah, another Puma. The Pumas are cars you can take pride now. They were sort of like an everyday sort of little fun car back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but they're fast becoming. They are. It's probably fair to say they are now true modern classics. So the central part of the hall is very much Ford oriented. We've got a little lineup here of Mark II Granadas. I think there's nothing nicer than this shape of Ford. So from the late 70s, early 80s, the Mark IV and 5 Cortinas, sort of similar corporate shape as well. It's not lovely to see two estates as well. Not quite on standard alloys, any of them, but nonetheless they are seriously nice looking things. Yeah, because they're cars that were kind of out when I was born. I kind of get quite excited by them. We've got some populars or Ford 100Es here. This one's a body tub that's obviously started being sanded back at some point. And then we've got one that's obviously running. Another one in black. Bit of patina there on that wing, bit of crazing. So that's possibly had some kind of failed respray in the past, but it's always nice to see them. We've got some Ford commercials here. So we've got this Acme auto wrecking house moving truck. Isn't that fantastic? No, it's got nothing on it, so I don't know what it is, but we've got another sort of Ford. I guess it's a popular. It's a Ford Sun, of course. It's commercial. E83W commercial. Looks fairly similar, sort of fronted or similar shape to a popular, but obviously it's not. And then this, I think, is a Ford Thames van, which we'll just peer at over the top. Gentleman, obviously very used to being on camera. There we are, posing with a Ford Thames. Ford Thames van, and we've got this chassis without an engine. Another Ford commercial. So that's our little Ford commercial section here. Fords keep coming. We've got some Mark III Cortinas just parked up around here. Beautifully curvaceous thing. So it's that Coke bottle shape that Ford were getting into at the time. We've got another one here being worked on. So we shan't get too close. We want to put off the people, because when you're doing some jobs on a car, you've really got to concentrate. So the last thing you want is some bald man with a camera poking his camera right in. But yeah, another one being lovingly restored. We've got some more challenging filming here, of course. We've got RS Cosworth Sierra, and we've got a Mark V Focus Escort Cosworth. Beautiful thing. Rare. I said about the estate a moment ago. Rare things. And we've got Mark II Fiesta XR2 and a Mark I Fiesta with a bit of a fruity engine there. And we've got the Tickford. So Tickford again, another sort of conversion company. So we've got Tickford Capri. We've got another Cosworth. We've got another Puma, but that's one that's been breathed upon. And then we've got this, I think I spotted this, is a Cavalier Calibra, but it's obviously got some special bits going on with it. Limited edition, 500 cars produced, only 40 remaining in carmine red. What a beautiful thing. Do like this era of Cavaliers, I have to say. Very, very nice. So next to pride of ownership, the MX-5s have got quite a nice display, so we shan't go around every one, but that's beautiful, that colour. That's quite something. But it's always nice to see. There's probably a car that I need to try at some point. Maybe not buy one, but certainly have a go in. So if someone's got an MX-5 they want to lend me, then please do, just for a couple of hours. We've got a later one here, but they're nice looking cars, well set up sports cars. Now, this little corner here is particularly appealing because we've got lots of BL stuff. So we've got the Marina that we saw the other day, so the Marina Super, and then we've got a Marina GT garage find, and this one's up on axle stands because it's being restored. But it's the two-door Marina, quite an attractive thing. We saw this Ital the other day, gorgeous looking thing. Another Marina 1800, so it's very similar to Alex's. I've got a video coming out on a Marina 1800 in the next week or two. And this one's got diesel written on the side, so it's an 1800, but it's possibly a diesel because, of course, the B series could run on diesel, which is quite interesting. There is someone we know. It's Alex from Alex's Assets, we can't condone that kind of behaviour.
The one that won was actually my least favourite.
Which car won?
That Nova, the modified.
The modified Nova,
Yeah.
so which I've seen
And it's
before.
from Gloucester.
So there's going to be war in Gloucestershire tonight.
War in Gloucester.
Yeah. So I'm just going to finish off this little section. Now I'm going to go back to Pride of Ownership to have a chat with Alex, because I think Simon's going home.
Oh, right,
Yes,
okay.
we're over in just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. We've got a couple of Maxes here, which is lovely to see. And then we've got some more British stuff. We've got a brown Allegro, 2-door, a blue Allegro 2-door. We've got an Allegro 2-door estate, very well patterned paintwork, but I like that a lot. Then we've got some wedges. Look at this. Not wedgies, I said wedges. So we've got the Ambassador, Princess 2 and Princess, of course. We've got our Traverse mounted O series engine in these. There's not many of these left. So this is a 2200 O series. When these are set up right, they do sound beautiful. Got another Princess. So they're all we have got no Ambassadors, just the Princesses here. But I think they're quite a nice looking car, I have to say. I might get some people saying, what on earth are you talking about? But I think these things are, again, saw a lot of them about when I was a very small child. And I think they're actually quite nice looking, I have to say. So we're not finished yet. So this is a friendly club. We know this club because I was on this stand last year. This is the Rover Owners Club. So we've got Reese's, Matt's Rover 100 Cabriolet, beautiful colour, amaranth purple. It's I'm trying to stand back a bit because it's beginning to thin out actually, which is interesting. But amaranth's a beautiful colour. You saw it on MGFs, you saw it on these, you saw it on 200 coupes, a few of them. We've got a green City Rover. This is unusual. This is Reese's. Unusual to see one in this colour, but we'll just leave it there. We'll leave it there. And then, of course, we've seen this car before many times on the channel. We've got Adam's lovely Spectre Rover 75. Under these lights, I mean, it's a nice looking colour in any light, but the NEC lights are particularly flattering towards a car. Masses, we're back over to where the sort of sporting bears are. We've got some couple of Stingrays, we've got a Stingray Roadster, we've got the Quantums. I think I looked at a couple of these at a show last year and had no idea what they were, through no fault of my own, because I'd never seen one before. But yeah, these are the Quantums. So we've got a couple of ones that look fairly like they're running, and then we've got one that's in pieces here. So if you want to know how Quantum's kind of built up, then look no further than here. The Fords don't stop. We've got a lot of Sierras. I mean, these are just sort of standard RS 500s. But I think this one's actually a proper touring car because you have to rev it to keep it going. It won't idle, so it's obviously got a very, very hot cam in it indeed. Look at that, 2-door, 3-door Sierra body shell in beige. I don't know why, it's just a body shell, but I really like that because it's just so typical of the early mid-80s where you had 3-door Sierras in that beige colour. That shell looks pretty solid to me. We've got a Fiesta Mark something shell. I think we saw this the other day. It looks like it's come on a little way. And then we've got another Fiesta. So this is a Ford Fiesta Turbo from 1991. Another ST, so that's very similar to the one that's on the Pride of Ownership. And the gentleman, I think, who owns it's got a very similar colour shirt on. So, but that's a really stunning car. I've driven the ST. I've driven the ST, of course, but I need to drive one of these at some point. So, yeah. Apparently, if I clean it, I can drive it. RS 1800 Mark II, beautiful. And then we've got Mark 5 RS 200, and then we've got a Mark 3 RS, beautiful. Always do well for Ford. So Ford's, yeah, it's very Dagenham and Longbridge at this end of the hall. We've got this This thing that we saw the other day, we've got, what's this here? This looks interesting. That's definitely a barn find, look at that. Console. And that's being cleaned up as we speak. That's why there's bits of rust and crust falling on it. We've got a classic Capri body shell in red oxide. So that's up. It's always nice to see these cars, you know, obviously we've got no number plate or kind of any distinguished feature. Maybe next year we'll see it moved on a little bit further. And we've got another Capri here. Have we got anything more round? Oh no, we have got some more. We've got the Mark 1 Transit, Luton style, and then we've got some more stuff being worked on. So another barn find console, another console there. That one's being put back together. I'd say that's nearly there, that one. We've got lots of minis. I think we saw these Transits the other day. So we've got a couple of Mark 1s and a Mark 2. And we've got Fords and Minis. So we've got some Puma van. That's interesting. It's like a Fiesta van back. We've got Puma front, and then we've got some more Pumas. We've seen enough Pumas, but there's all the Pumas that I can see in this row. And we've got Clubman. We've got sort of later Cooper, so injection, probably a single point injection one. We've got Clubman, another Clubman front estate there. That's gorgeous. And then we've got some. We saw a couple of these the other day. So Cooper S, the John Cooper Works, we did definitely see the other day. And then this shell we saw. And has that had any more done to it? I'm not sure. Hard to tell. I have to check back at the rest of the video. And then we've got a little lineup of some more minis. We've got an OBL, so that's a pre-production mini right on the end there. So I wonder if that's got something to do with Tanya Field. I'm pretty sure Tanya's is one of the cabrios actually. And then we get a bit French. We've got a Citroen GSA, we've got a Citroen XM V6 there. Oh, look at this. Citroen AMI 6 saloon, that's gorgeous. Isn't that lovely? That's a lovely looking thing. I am rushing because I'm conscious that this video is going to go on for hours and hours and hours, and I don't want anyone switching off because DS and ID, beautiful. So Citroen DS or Citroen ID, yeah, very, very comfortable cars apparently. We've got some Scirocco's and Corrados, so we've got a Scirocco with kind of front end missing, a couple of Mark II Scirocco's and another one there. Then we've got a couple of Corrados. Now these things were sort of cooking wine money at one point, but they're now, yeah, they're now coming up in price. So a couple of very, very nice Corrados. Let's have a look under the bonnet of these, because I do find Volkswagens can be a bit boring, but these ones are not. These are quite interesting. So yeah, there's the VR6 engine, so and same in this one as well. And we've got some more Rovers. Now this is the Lancaster Insurance stand. This is Furious Driving's Rover, so it's a V8, but it's not the standard 3528cc. It's got the 4.6 litre from a Range Rover in it. So yeah, nice to see that in the flesh. And then we've got Van den Plas Princess and something large and yeah, Austin hot roddy type thing. Something like that. Here's the Aston Martin show. I thought something might happen with this over the weekend, but it's not. And so, yeah, these are the sort of insurance things. We've got Austin Healey stand, obviously being a prestigious mark. It's yeah, got a very posh stand with a committee table at the back there. Look like they're at a past political conference or something. They're looking very thrilled with what's going on. But yeah, I just love the big Healeys that look like that. Bit of a shell going on there. We've got more Volkswagens here, and then we get a bit Italian with some Lancias just around this corner. There are some, we'll have a look at those Audis in a minute. And then we've got is it a Fiat? Yeah, it's a Fiat of some description there. I think it's a Marea actually. I think it's a Fiat Marea. And then we've got a Panda and another Panda. So that's nice to see a few Fiats here. And then we've got the X19s, gorgeous things. Look at that. Yeah, again, this is a car I'd like to have a look at. We've got some, we will look at the Audi. We've got the Quattro, we heard that coming in the other day. And then we've got an Audi 80, I think there's an 80 at this era, not an A4. Of course, this did go on to become the A4. Yeah, it's nice of you Audis. We've got a few French cars as well, so we've got that Renault 5. We're going a bit out of mark to mark here, but I'm just conscious. We've got Mark from Mark and Motoring's Megane Coupe. We've got this lovely little Renault 5 Turbo. Now that's gorgeous. That's a serious bit of kit. That's, again, I know some people who watch these videos will get absolutely gaga about a car like this. So it's you're either a 205 man or you're a Renault 5 man. So I'll let you make up your own mind. There's Mark's lovely yellow coupe. And then we've got a Renault Velsatis, rare sight now. And an Aronde. That's quite something. More Audis. Audi, what's that? Is that a 100? A Type 43 from 1981. Interesting. Then an Quattro. Another Quattro. We've got. I'm getting quite hot and bothered now, actually. But we just got so much to look at. We're nearly done, by the way. The pain is nearly over for you. Oh, look at this, a Matra Rancho. Now these are cars that you used to see a fair few of, but you don't see very many now, and it's a right-hand drive one as well. Tiny little battery in there, not that big an engine. And then we've got the Matra Sports 2.2 next to it. So there are survivors of these. I mean, these are rare cars now. They really are. But just look at that. Lovely to see a Matra Rancho. That's seriously nice. Little Sierra and some more. Oh, more Ford. Good God. The XR Owners Club are in there. There's an XR 4x4 up on axle stands. Another one up on axle stands. So we've got a lot of cars being worked on again. Really nice to see. More Italianness in this corner. And here's this XR Owners Club. So we've got Mark 5 Focus, Sierra. We've got Mark 5 or 6 Escort. Sorry, not Focus. Sierra XR4x4, Fiesta XR2. Lovely. Mark II XR2. Seriously nice. And we've got some more Alphas. That one's being worked on. There we are. You can see the innards and mechanicals in there. And we've got our rivals, the MG. Well, they're not rivals, but we're all after doing the same thing. But the MG Owners Club stand is typically very big, and they've got one of these cutaways, which I won't show you because we can go and look at a Gaydon video to understand that. And then we've got a Lotus area. I'm not going to dwell too long in there. That's a nice thing that up on the trailer with added twigs and branches and stuff. But we've got some beautiful Mercedes here as well. So this is the Mercedes-Benz Club of the UK. Loads of low tie. And then the Jaguar Drivers Club are here en masse. They've got a massive stand near the Porsches. Nice showing for the Jaguars. We've got the XJS clubs. Of course, the XJS is 50 this year. So the first ones of these were about in 1975. That's 50 years ago. And then we've got a friend of the channel. We've got Auto Anonymous. So Sham Lord Loxley. There he is over there. He's busy. He's always got people around him. So I'm not going to try and talk to him. But he's got a really nice stand this year. This lovely chessboard pattern, but a nice selection of cars. So we'll catch up with him at a meet-up in the summer, no doubt. More stuff to look at. So all the XJS is there, and then we've got a load of sort of Ford. That one's rodded. That's very rodded, actually. Look at that. These are Bedford vans. So And then we've got some more AD016. So we've got a Morris. They're all Morris. Those two are Morrises. And this one is a, can't tell from here, a Wolseley. So we've got a Wolseley variant as well. Round here, I did mention earlier, we've got some Mark II Astras. And in fact, we've got 3 of them. So 3 Mark III Astras all lined up in a row. GSI, then a more sort of basic one, and then one that's got a little bit missing, but that's got, I would think, a replacement engine in there. Looking at that, so that's nice to see those. We've got, always nice to see a Calibra, a car I've got fond memories of from the sort of early 2000s, but yeah, one in pretty immaculate condition, one that's obviously going to be done up, and that green one's beautiful. The Sunbeam Alpine owners are here. And there's what, 3, 4 of those. And what's nice to see, so this is the Long Buckby vintage and classic car vehicle meet. So it's a village in Northamptonshire, it's a small town. And they've got a club stand here at the NEC Resto show. So that's quite nice. That's, you know, a smaller organisation like that. I mean, it might be massive for all I know, but knowing Long Buckby, it's not the biggest place in the world, but they've got a stand here. Vauxhall Bedford Opel Association here with a variety of GM products. We've got a Nova over there with a bit of a thing going on the bonnet. We've got Opel Manta GSE, another Manta there. Bond bugs, we saw these flying in the other day when I was waiting in the car park. And this is the 1381 Motor Club. So we've got a classic Mini, we've got a TVR Tamsin, we've got one of these. What is one of these things? It doesn't actually tell me. It's a Cortina.
Nice, isn't it, mate?
Will be, won't it? Yeah. So Mark III Cortina. The what, sorry? I've just been offered to teacup this to finish it off, but I've got to make this video, otherwise no one gets to see the whole show. So, but yeah, nice little stand there. The bell's gone, don't quite know why. More Reliant, so Robin, and then another Scimitar, and then there's some. Now we have to stop at this because this is quite a special car. It's a D-type Jaguar. I don't think it's a Tejero, but if you ever get to hear one of these that's been tuned, they sound absolutely epic. I absolutely love these things. They're brilliant. Really, really good. Golf GTI Mark 1, that's just, don't need to say any more about that. It's gorgeous. When Volkswagens were interesting, but that's nice. We've got a Capri, and we've got a bit of a mishmash really to end off. So we've got another Capri, another Maestro van, a Cavalier, that's lovely, in that blue, and a couple of Skodas. So we got a bit of representation from everything here. And there are some, I think these are Wartburgs. Yeah, 2 Wartburgs. Spotted these the other day. Then more Skodas this side, so sort of vintage, an older Skoda, and then a slightly more modern one there. And that is pretty much it. We've got a couple of VW carbon gears as well. And then we're kind of into a bit of a trade area. So we won't finish the video quite yet because, of course, we're at the NEC. What time is it? I have to look at my phone. It's 3:30, so in an hour and a half, a traditional will happen, and that's how we'll end the video. So we're almost at the end of the day, and of course that means only one thing if you've got a car being exhibited in the NEC. So I'm going to have to pad this out now with lots of waffle, but it is 1 minute to 5. There's a few people trying to set horns off already. Got this naughty gentleman next to me, and we'll get by our cars and start making a noise in a moment. But it's been,
give a toot.
It's getting towards that time. Well, but when everyone does it, it's quite something. So there's a few people starting already. They're just testing their. So here we go, they're announcing that it's over. So there's still a few people doing it, but that's the end of the show. Thank you for watching. It's been a long ramble into over 2 parts, so I do appreciate you bearing with. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button with bell notification if you don't already do so. Give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share with your friends, and I will see you for some non-car show content on the next episode of Beards and Bangers really soon. Goodbye.